seasoned. My name is Jason and I'll be walking you through my opinion of The Flash, Season 1, completely spoiler free. At the end, I'll give an overall A to F grade for the season, so it's not just based off 1 or 2 bad episodes. Alright, let's get started. The Flash follows Barry Allen, the fastest man alive. After a scientific experiment goes wrong, Barry gets struck by lightning, giving him super speed powers. Working with Star Labs, he uses his speed to stop other people with powers causing harm. This series is just a cheesy, fun, light-hearted superhero show, and I love it for that. Blatantly unshamed about its comic book roots, The Flash is as campy as it can get and has pretty much jumped straight out of a comic book itself. It's typically a Monster of the Week show with a really awesome overarching plot to span the season, and has an extremely consistent tone that's fun and just here to be entertaining. The show has a ton of polish and the special effects look incredible for a TV show. The speed lightning effects on The Flash are great, the fight scenes are stupid fun, and as silly as things get, it never really jumps the shark. If the whole show is ridiculous, then nothing's going to be too ridiculous to feel out of place. I mean, the show has the Flash fight an evil telepathic gorilla with a god complex. That shit is bananas. It does cross over with the Arrow and it really enjoys playing around with its characters. But while the Arrow has a dark, brooding tone, Flash still maintains its happy, upbeat attitude when those characters are around. By comparison, I think this makes the show a lot more enjoyable than its darker counterpart. Lighten up, Ollie, Jesus Christ. It's got some really likeable side characters as well. For example, Joe West, Iris's father and Barry's stepdad, who is just really well acted, and it's so fun just to watch his character get genuinely giddy over Barry doing cool Flash stuff. There's Cisco, Star Labs' nerdy scientist and part of the Flash's team, who gets just as excited as Joe. My favourite character, Captain Cold, the criminal mastermind with an ice gun, played by Wentworth Miller. Wentworth Miller, by the way, is clearly loving the shit out of playing a ridiculously smug, cheesy villain. It's just like everyone is really happy to be there, and why wouldn't they? If you've ever watched Prison Break, this show is hilarious, since we get so many actors from that show featured in this one as villains, and it is extremely self-aware. A show like this needs to have a sense of humour about itself, or it will come off as pretentious or just plain stupid, rather than really endearing. Even still, I can see some people finding it too cheesy and ridiculous, because that's exactly what it is. If you're sick of superheroes as well, you're just gonna see this as an embodiment of everything you hate about superheroes. As for negative points, Iris West, Barry Allen's childhood friend and love interest, is terribly written. She has nothing to do but be a stereotypical love interest, i.e. she's self-involved, whiny, dramatic, incompetent, in the way, stupidly naive, petty, assuming, and all round a giant pain in the ass. If you've watched Arrow, she's what Laurel was in Season 1, or what Felicity is in Season 3. Thankfully, she's a very small nuisance in what's overall a very entertaining show. I like to justify my geeky watching habits sometimes by arguing that the fiction I indulge in has real meaning to it, has life lessons to learn, has bottomless depth to it that is only limited by our imaginations. Fiction that makes you feel, that holds up a mirror to reality, that can be an inspiration to many a people. People at their lowest low, people who need hope and inspiration the most, from fiction that truly, truly matters. And sometimes I just want to see a superhero punch an evil gorilla. It gets an A. One thing that people wonder about The Flash as well is whether they should catch up with Arrow first, you know, because of the crossovers. I think if you're pressed for time, it isn't necessary. Though you might feel left out when Team Arrow cameos in the show and you don't really know who half of them are. I did a review on Arrow Seasons 1 and 2, and that might help you decide whether or not the show is for you, though it is tonally darker and broodier than The Flash is. But for now, that's it. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to this channel to keep up to date with my latest reviews. Next week, I'll be reviewing Doctor Who Series 1 to 4 plus the David Tennant specials. Doctor Who being a sci-fi show infamous for its Britishness, its shitty effects, and its shitty Tumblr fanbase. That'll be fun to cover. Yes, I'll be covering more serious shows in the future, shows like True Detective, Hannibal, Peaky Blinders, and so forth. But for now, I will see you later.